What's up, guys? Nerdlocker.com with this week's comic book reviews, and I'm starting off with Animal Man number 24. I've been looking forward to this issue for a while because it's got Raphael Albuquerque on art. Jeff Lemire's still writing, but I just want to say, first off, this issue is beautiful. It's well written. It's very well drawn. I love Raphael Albuquerque. Now I'm going to talk about the book. Brother Blood is in charge right now, and this is a really cool way to kind of tie him in to everything. I mean, I know him as the Teen Titans villain. That's what I always read him as, and I know he's been around in other places, but I was wondering how he was going to be involved with the New 52. Well, he is now the avatar for the Red. Some things happen in there, and he is just taken over, and he looks like he's more powerful than Animal Man. And it's just, this is insane what's going on. Something really big happens at the end, and I feel like this is going to be a giant arc for Animal Man. I feel like this is really going to define him as a hero. I mean, we all know him as a superhero, but in the book, he's kind of been jumping around doing some stuff. I mean, nobody really knows about Rot World. None of the other heroes really like remember any of that or, know what he's done. And I think this is really going to bring him in to the spotlight. I love this book. I'm so happy where this is going. You guys need to pick it up. I'm giving it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, gonna be here with my reviews this week, and I got to read Conan number 21. And if you probably already know because I do all of these, and they're really good. And it actually made me really sad to finish this issue because the next story arc starts the last story arc, which sucks. Brian Wood's adaptation of The Black Queen, I think that's what it's called. But it's just like this one book with Conan and this one chick, which it's been this entire thing. And it ends, it's gonna suck, but this issue doesn't. It's really awesome, and it's really, really cool. I highly recommend it to everyone. We finally start to see the crazy magical things going on, like all the witch that they essentially encounter. Bullet goes crazy in the last issue, like something takes her over, some mystical force kind of captures her soul, captures her body, and just gets her like completely wrapped up in this one chick, and it's awesome. It's really, really cool. Because in this issue, it seems like she's kind of just trying to play it off and trying to get out of there. And of course, Conan shows up with a giant sword to swing it around at people, and it's really awesome. You need to read this book. This is going to be one of those books that I recommend in trade paperback form for years to come because this is an awesome collection of cool, awesome stories with good character development, awesome artwork, Becky Cloonan started.
So I just got finished reading Hunger number 4, which is the last issue of the arc, and boy was it a good one. It had a whole bunch of stuff that happened in it, and including stuff that I completely forgot happened in the last issue, like somebody dying. I won't ruin that for you, but in this issue, it's a big shining moment for Rick Jones. He gets a new suit. Again, I won't tell you any spoilers on that, and of course he saves the day in a really, really big way. But like I said, it's a big lead up into Cataclysm. So you're going to want to read this issue because the last panel on this is exactly what happens in Cataclysm, and you're going to want to know what happens. So check it out, and that's why I give it 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
Hey fellow nerds, Jasper here, and I just got done reading Superman Batman issue 4. Man oh man, is this issue really confusing, but in a good way. You have Superman, Batman, more younger, New 52s that we're used to, as they meet their counterparts who are more refined, more defined in Earth 2. And they're pretty much going back and forth with a lot of bantering as they need to figure out how to stop the impending doom, as the shard crystal is the only way to pretty much save Earth 1, as Darkseid is on his way pretty much to Earth 1. And as Earth 2's heroes are pretty much telling the younger heroes that it's, not the end of the world, not to freak out, just to man up and do what they need to do, Wonder Woman is fighting KO off in the background with Lois Lane and Catwoman just all up in the mix. Just a bunch of crazy stuff going on. Overall, the issue is kind of fun because they play back and forth between the heroes, younger and older, but it does get very confusing. With that, I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, I got to read Uncanny X-Men number 13. This is chapter 8, A Battle of the Atom, and everything's nuts right now. We still don't know why the fake X-Men from the future are in the past, trying to get the X-Men from the past back to the past because they're in the future. Everything's nuts. I still don't know why, though. That's what I want to know, is why they're doing this. Some characters get killed. Some characters are revealed, like their names. We've seen them, but I've been sitting there going, oh my god, who's this X-Men in the future? And totally find out. And it's kind of awesome. You can see Colossus and Magic Throwdown with their giant swords, but it's the same sword, but it's a different point in time, and it's crazy. It's nuts. This ends with, I feel like we got one big fight issue and then maybe a cleanup, and it'll all be explained, and everything's going to be all hunky-dory. But I'm loving this. I just can't wait to see what Bendis is planning with this for the future with the X-Men. So I'm going to keep reading. I'm giving this 4 to 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, so I get to read Forever Evil Rogues Rebellion, #1. And it's pretty cool. This whole Forever Evil has been awesome. I'm not a big villain person. I'm not really into like, oh man, the bad guys rule. Like, I love the rebels, screw the Sith. You know, I'm a Jedi all the way. You know, kind of that thing. Like, I've always rooted for the good guy in the greatest sense possible because that's the best. Captain America, you know, Cyclops. They're always the best good guys. But I like when they switch it up. Like, I like Villains Month every year for DC. They've been doing that the last couple of years, and it's a really cool thing. I really like Forever Evil because I love the Crime Syndicate, and I think they're really cool. And every time they've always done a reimagining of them, it's been awesome. And this giant event centered around them is cool because it's like the first giant event, blah, 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 blah. There's so many cool things about it. The Rogues being one of the coolest group of bad guys because they're not really bad makes me want to read it. So, boom, I'm jumping on it. And I didn't read the Grodd issue of the whole Forever Evil Villain Month thing, like, missed it. And it kind of like, it feels like you need to read it because I had no idea what's going on. I mean, it kind of explains itself. And I feel like I missed out a little bit, which sucks, but you don't really need it. I would just highly recommend to do it because there's probably a ton of story in that I totally missed out on, and I don't want you guys to do that. Either way, it's a great, awesome story. I love what they've done with the Rogues where they actually have powers. I mean, I kind of miss like the Captain Cold's gun, and everyone's like, you know, cool things where like the Flash was their bad guy that had these crazy, insane powers that made no sense, and they had toys that made no sense, but that still worked. I mean, it's cool that they have powers now. It's whatever, but like, I want the gun back, man. I want all their guns back. Either way, it's a cool story because they handle the Rogues really, really, really well. Like, how they're supposed to be. Like, they're douches, but they're not douches to be douches. They're just douches because that's what they know. They're criminals. And they had it to a sense. I like that they love Central City so much, they're not just going to give it up. And it ends with a cool, like, oh snap. Can't wait to see what happens next. So overall, it's like a pretty decent issue, but it wasn't knocking my socks off. It wasn't blowing me away like actual Forever Evil is. So I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. But it is an awesome story, and you guys should check it out because the Rogues are badass, and they're all cool. Duh. You're not. They are.
So I just read Invincible 106, and it is the return of Battle Beast. I've been waiting so many issues for this. I mean, they did show him in the Invincible War back in issue 60, but it was kind of half-assed. I wanted something big and kind of a storyline, and in this issue, you get one. You get a lot of dialogue, you get some background, and he gets his own personal mission from Alan the Alien, which I'm looking forward to, and a whole bunch of other stuff, like the arm wrestling. I mean, it's just great. And the coloring is great for this. John Rauch is back on this book, which I'm really excited about. Ryan Ottley is always exciting, and Robert Kirkman's writing is great. So check it out. 5 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. Pick it up.
Hey guys, this week I got to read Guardians of the Galaxy #7. This issue revolves around Angela, the one-of-a-kind species who's a female warrior that they ran into. And it's kind of a filler issue where it doesn't really advance the story until the very end. But what I really love about this series is that even though it is just a filler issue, it's still a really enjoyable read, which you don't always get in comics when there's just kind of one of those issues that, you know, you got to get through it to get to the next one. I really enjoyed reading this one, so I'm going to give it 4 Nerd Skulls. Check it out.
I got to read Justice League of America #8. This is the first glimpse into Forever Evil that we're getting. This is a basic tie-in issue where they show you that there's a lot going on, but they don't answer any of the questions. I assume that a lot of them will be answered in Forever Evil. I could be wrong because there really is a ton going on here. It's Martian Manhunter, Stargirl, and half of Firestorm just finding themselves in this prison, and Martian Manhunter's kind of investigating and finding different members of the Justice League and Justice League of America in different cells, but it seems like they're all connected in like a giant like loop, because they're all like I'm not really sure what's going on. It's enticing to read like more. I want to know what's going on, but like I said, it's kind of just letting you know that big things are happening in Forever Evil. That's not bad though. I'm not trying to say it was bad at all. I really enjoyed this issue. The last page is kind of this like, whoa, what happened here on Earth? But I suggest you check it out. It's really good. I'm giving this 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls.
All right, guys, so come here. I got to read Avengers number 21 as well this week. And while I'm loving all these Infinity tie-ins, especially the fact that John Lynn Hickman is writing all of them, it's one cohesive big story, and like the main players are being like really focused on in these two separate like storylines. It's really sweet, like the Illuminati in one, and then just like the Avengers in the other. Kind of like how they're feeling, how they're dealing with everything. It's helping to build the bigger story of Infinity, which is sweet that they can do that in a tie-in and not make it feel like I'm just buying a book. I love that when they do that, because I'm gonna buy the tie-in probably. I just don't want to buy the ones that don't mean anything. All these mean something, except for this one maybe. I'm not gonna say it's not completely like you can overlook it, but it just felt slow. It didn't feel like it was adding as much, and it totally did. It just didn't feel like it. Like the last couple have been like, oh my God, I'm turning the page, oh my God. And I did that a couple times in this, but I didn't end with that. I didn't end with that feeling of like, oh my God, I can't wait to read it. Mainly because it was kind of depressing, not in like a everyone dies kind of way, but in a kind of like, oh, everyone might die kind of way. Like it might actually go down. And it's almost over, so it's kind of sad, but I'm gonna be happy when this is over, because it's gonna probably shake up the Marvel Universe hugely, and I can't wait to see what John Lynn Hickman does to do that. But for this issue in particular, being all talky and wordy and blah, 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 I'm gonna give it 4 out of 5 Nerd Skulls. It wasn't the greatest, but it still wasn't the worst. And it was actually pretty fairly good. So check it out, guys. Let me know what you think about Infinity in general, because this is kind of like a little break, and I wanna know what you guys think right now.